Okay. Hi. Hi, Facebook. How are you? It is Ayana, your transformation health coach. Okay, hold on. It counted down. Now it's live. Hello. Hi, Facebook. And hello, Instagram. Almost there with Instagram. Hi, Instagram. Happy Sunday to everyone. I'm so excited to be going live today. It is, oh, what a great day. And now I can finally breathe again. I am your transformation health coach. And hello, everyone. Hello on Instagram. Hi, thanks for watching. So I'm really excited because, today is Sunday. And if you don't know who I am, if you're watching this video for the first time, I am your transformation health coach. And I apologize as usual. I'm always looking at two cameras, the Facebook camera, hello, and the Instagram. So if you see me kind of sharing, moving my eyes back and forth, that's what's going on. But oh boy, am I having a good day. So, a few days ago, on Wednesday, I think, I went live with a video talking about just how terrified I was with everything going on. And this video, normally I come with videos that are about, health and overall transformation and mindset. But for me, I am a firm believer that the things that are going on in our world, that we can't separate things that are going on in our world from our wellness all the time. And, um, oh, hi. Okay, we'll tell her hello. Hi to your mom. So, I really like to have conversations and talk about the world because when we are at our best and when we are, calmer and feel at our most empowered, it's easier to take on our goals. It's easier to make things happen in our lives. And, sometimes when the world is going nuts, it can be very, very, very easy to just forget about ourselves, not take care of ourselves. And then as a result, we end up just not taking care of the things that are important to us, and our dreams can start to fall apart too. So I for me it is, I feel like all of this stuff is interconnected. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who this week and in the past couple of weeks who are saying, man, I was so stressed out, I was eating only all Halloween cookies, or Halloween candy, or man, I was so stressed out that I was only drinking, or I was only doing this, I was only doing that, I couldn't exercise, I couldn't do everything. And it makes sense, when we're going through, when we're in the midst of a crazy chaotic moment in our history, and with and just never mind the things that are going on in our own personal lives, right? It can feel incredibly overwhelming, right? And sometimes we just have to stop and pause and reflect on that. And so part of the reason why I care so much about our world and I talk about these things is because I believe that when we take care of people's basic needs, then it helps our wellness out tremendously. If we know where our paycheck is coming from, if we know where our income is coming from, if we know that we're going to be taken care of with our health care and all of that, then we'll be better taken care of mentally, and we can also take on the world, right? And so one of the things that I like to talk about here is what is going on in the world and how we can all manage that and work through that so we can still pursue our health goals and our dreams, and everything doesn't have to fall off track, okay? Or at least, there are moments where it does sometimes, and that's okay, where life happens. And this was a life happening moment. I went through this week feeling really nervous and anxious, as I'm sure most of you did. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this election. And for those of you out there who are feeling, sadness, or who don't feel complete with this election, I can understand. For me, I'm a progressive person in my politics. I believe in, a lot of what the progressive Democrats who are running for, like a lot of what they were going for. So, to a certain degree, Biden getting elected was not me getting my ideal candidate initially. But and I know also too that Joe Biden being president is not going to give me everything that I personally want, perhaps. But what I am really excited about with this election, and part of the reason why it was so amazing for me personally, is because, I felt the past 4 or 5 years felt really heavy. And they felt really heavy because I felt like our president, Donald Trump, was, I didn't feel like he cared about me, or other people. I really felt like he was showing a lot of racism, discrimination, um, and really just not a lot of consideration for humanity. This is a time, and I've been someone who's always been like, you know, I've always been really civically minded. I've always been a community organizer in addition to my business, um, and that's why I care about these issues so much as well too. And I've seen injustice before. I've seen oppression, but there was something about the scale of this and just the openness and the flamboyance with which all of this was happening that felt really hard to take. And the bigger thing for me, bigger than the feeling of heavy like misogyny and discrimination to people who are in the LGBTQ community and immigrants and just a lot of it. I felt like there was a lot of fear being ginned up with people that was preventing people from coming together. I strongly believe, I'm an eternal optimist. I believe, and I've seen it happen over and over again. I've seen people, you know, redeem themselves, grow, change, and evolve from a variety of different situations. I've seen myself grow and evolve from a place of like damn near brokenness to to thriving. So I've seen change and growth and evolution. So I will always believe in that with people, and I still believe in it now. But what was really hard in the past 4 years was just feeling like this country was divided in a way that I had never seen before, right? It was divided and some people were saying that it reminded them of the 60s. I think to have a president just so openly encouraging violence, encouraging hatred, encouraging discrimination, supporting people who are racist, who are openly racist and don't have any qualms about it, and being really wishy-washy about his stance on it, it just really it opened up the door for a lot of people to be violent and take their aggression out on marginalized groups in this country. And so for me, the moment, I heard Van Jones talking about this, but it felt like I cried when I found out the news. Thank goodness. If you guys missed my video from a few days ago on Wednesday when I was like, oh, what's going to happen? And I was like, my soul is on pause. I felt like I could finally breathe because it felt like um, this, and it's not all Trump. There were a lot of people who were encouraging it. A lot of people who were enabling it, who were seeing his behavior and kind of going for it. He was doing things that felt authoritarian, racist, misogynistic, and just, really letting discrimination take the wheel and really playing on people's fears. I really feel like we're all a product of our education and who we interact with and the people that we're around, and so if we surround ourselves with people who are different from us, we learn and we grow and we get to know other people who are different from us. We get to know them as human beings. We get to know their story. And I think, Donald Trump was really capitalizing on a lot of people not necessarily having those interactions and playing to their fears and whipping people up in a way that felt really intense. And while I know that that's not over, it's just nice to feel like the commander in chief, the president, or the president elect at the moment, is not going to be about that. You know, we are still immensely, immensely divided, you know, but it is refreshing for me to have someone, even someone who I didn't necessarily want at first, right? who I don't agree with on many things politically, but who is showing empathy and who appears to want to lead by love, right? And so, if nothing else, we really do need to recognize the moment that we're in. This moment that we're in, still immensely split, where people are ready to be violent at the drop of a hat, where people feel like their liberty, like they're being told that on the left there's a boogeyman that is out to get them, that people are taking their jobs and their opportunities and don't care and all these other things, and also too, and also like the Democrats to their, like I think both Democrats and Republicans have not been perfect I definitely have been critical of Democrats in the past, so I understand why people might feel abandoned by political parties sometimes, why they might feel frustrated. And so to take those frustrations and then to just turn them into this, like, almost an environment where it feels like we could be on the brink of a civil war, I think is incredibly dangerous. Just from not quieting down groups that were threatening the governor, and from not really like condemning that properly, from just not condemning a lot of violent things. It just feels like, oh, thank goodness, we can all breathe. We can all take a breath. We can all, somebody is going to be there who can kind of bring a little bit more empathy, a little bit more understanding, a little bit more listening back, a little bit more humanity back. Because for 4 years, for 5 years now, more so than in the past, I've felt like my humanity was in question. And I've felt that before in my life, but it was really, really ramped up under this president and under, the people who kind of helped him stay there. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that. And I cried because there have been a lot of safety concerns. Quite frankly, there's been a lot of safety concerns, a lot of mental health concerns with everything that's going on. And I think, right now, I mean, just in the with the backdrop of the pandemic going on, and just it just felt like some hope. And also too, Kamala Harris, I mean, lest we forget, the first woman to be elected to the White House, the first, and a woman of color at that, from Oakland, okay? Woohoo! Now, and Kamala Harris, just like any other politician who ran for president, is not perfect, and definitely have things that I can be critical of. But and same thing with Joe Biden. But at least I feel like there is some an attempt at healing, an attempt at humanity right now, and I support that, and I'm thankful for that. And so I just wanted to say this to you all, that no matter who you voted for, I think that there is a lesson in all of this, because what I also acknowledge too is that 70 million people voted for Donald Trump. 70 million people. And so what that tells me is that there are a lot of people, on my side, I feel like there's a lot of ways in which I don't get heard. It also tells me that there are 70 million people out there who have not felt heard or understood by the status quo, and who saw something attractive in Donald Trump that at least felt like he was going to listen and that he was going to be there. And I feel that. I know what it feels to feel disenfranchised, and just, I know what that feels like personally, and I've fought my whole life against that. And what I hope that this, instead of, at first I was really terrified by that number, to be honest with you. I was like, oh my goodness, are we headed for more fighting? But what it really, the hope that I can start to have, and there's a lot more work that needs to be done, but it makes me feel like, okay, if we all can empathize with the feeling of not feeling heard, valued, respected, feeling dehumanized to a certain degree, then maybe there is since we all seem to be connecting from a place of pain and hurt, that maybe we can start to understand each other from that place. Now, this may not be for everyone, right? Like, some people might feel like they're too hurt, too angry to reach across the aisle, and try and have these conversations. And I get that. I just am reflecting on something that I've known in my own life, how much that empathy can go a long way, how much our humanity can go a long way. And my progressive politics make me care about all human beings, even those who don't agree with me, even those who really may want to harm me. Because what I really believe is that if we all just knew the truth about each other, if we all, the hatred that people have, or, the kind of like under the cover racism that is going on, the under the cover, like, it just wouldn't exist if people were able to interact with folks who are different from them. And again, I'm not asking people who have been marginalized, oppressed, dealt with injustice to do that work. But it does give me some hope that at least our new president seems to be wanting to be heading in that direction. Because I'll tell you this, I don't want the violence and that stuff to continue. And since it is something that is something that I believe in deeply, and it is an area that I feel comfortable in, I feel like I can speak more to that love. And so this for me, I didn't realize how much I would cry and how emotional I would get when they got elected, but for me it felt like an expression of love was coming. It felt like an expression of an attempt to try to calm things down, an attempt to try to humanize everyone. And I think that right now I feel grateful for those attempts, and I feel grateful for that voice. And it's interesting, I wasn't going to vote for Biden initially, and I ended up voting for him because he was, uh, in my mind, the best option between him and Trump. And I'm glad that I could hear, not only a historic moment right now, but I'm glad that I can hear the tone from the top being about humanizing everyone, you know and for those who feel like they can do it, right, having this empathetic conversations with people who disagree. And one of the ways that we can do it is just getting curious with each other. Why do you feel that way? And instead of preparing the argument in our head, just really listening and understanding, what is it that you felt or heard that called you over there, right? And then eventually too, I do think, that when we get to a point where we can have these deeper conversations from a calmer place, I think reflecting on our choices, reflecting on, you know, like, what were we willing to sacrifice in order to vote for someone, right? What were we willing to tolerate or to give up in order to vote for someone? It's another important thing to reflect on. So, yes, while there's still a lot more work to do, and we're not in that perfect utopia place, I feel hope for the first time in about a month. Well, I can't really say that. That's not fair. I've had moments of being up and down with this, but I've had moments where I felt way more hopeful, and moments where I'm like, "Ooh, what's happening? Should we try to, who do we know in Canada who's going to let us in? That kind of thing." But I do feel like, that there's a way, and we just got to keep doing the work. Keep doing the work, keep fighting for what it is that you believe in. Whatever that is, keep so however it is that we can show love and empathy. Find a way to do that for someone today, whether it's someone who's on your side of the aisle, on the other side of the aisle. If you're related to people, know people who voted a different way than you, how can you extend that olive branch? Because without that, I don't know where we're heading, to be honest with you. I really don't know. But I do believe that we have the power to do that. And I'm glad that there's going to be an example set from the top. So, with that, everyone, I know this message is a little different. That my tip for you all, since we're all recovering or celebrating this election right now, is just to really think about how it is that you can spread joy for someone else. For a little bit for yourself, because that's really, really important. How can you bring yourself a little bit of joy? How can you bring yourself a little bit of self-care? And also, what can you do to reach out to somebody else today? Okay, believe it or not, that's actually something I work on with my clients. Doing that and feeling good about yourself and feeling more hopeful will allow you to feel like there's something worth fighting for. Like your dreams have a purpose. Like if you've been eating Halloween candy all week because you've been stressed out, that you can recover from that, that you don't have to stay stuck. So, doing something kind for yourself and for someone else will also help you to feel better too. Okay, we got this. Whew, we're all, I love you all, even if I haven't met you. I love you because you're a human and because you have a place and you deserve to be here, even if you are cussing me out watching this video right now. Thank you for watching it all the way through. And I love you all, guys. We got this. We're going to stay in this together. Keep up the work. Bye. Bye, Facebook.